Welcome to my channel. This is Mario Lloyd, also known as Real Estate Guru PK. On this channel, we talk about my real estate endeavors. We also have the top real estate producers and the top entrepreneurs in the country. Be sure to click the link below with Justin P. with his Support Black Colleges marketing course. Also with Jason White's Crack the Code affiliate link, click that below as well. Also to support the channel, Webull, M1 Finance, Chase, Discover, Robinhood, and Public, a stock trading app. We hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Real Estate Guru PK signing out. Welcome. We got a special guest.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How y'all doing today?
Good.
We're good.
Good.
You were recommended by BR and Pierre.
Yes. Shout out to BR and Pierre for telling me to come on this show. I'm excited. So.
You excited for real?
Is this your first podcast?
I did something like a little bit kind of like a podcast before, but that was years ago. So this is like my first like actual
podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I told you earlier, usually I ask the guests about the story, like how they came or how you came to Houston, just a whole rundown or whatever.
Yeah. So originally I'm from the suburbs of Detroit area. So grew up there. I played tennis in college. I went to West Virginia for undergrad. And what's crazy is, COVID happened. So I ended up having another year and I went to school in Louisiana. I took a trip out here to Houston. I saw the market, for real estate because I knew that was what I wanted to get into. And I just been down here ever since. So, yeah.
So COVID got you into being an entrepreneur or?
I would say I've always had like an entrepreneur mindset. Really, from the age of 3, my grandmother, she would have us selling candy bars on the side of the street. Just to, be able to like eat and do things. So I've always had to kind of work for what I want, and that's what's kind of led me to where I am today. So
what got you into modeling?
I would say it was just more so it was somebody telling me that I couldn't do it. I remember when I was in college, I went to a casting call and I told them, I was like, I want to be a model. This is what I want to do. And the casting director told me that I wasn't a good fit because I would never be able to be a model actually because of my athletic build. And so that just kind of really...
what they mean by that?
So, I mean, honestly, like in the model world, it's kind of like, it's changing now. I think it's gotten better. But from before, it was always like you had to have a certain look, a certain build. And, playing tennis, I'm pretty athletic, so I'm a little stronger, up top, and I have muscles. And so sometimes some people would consider that not aesthetically pleasing. And so that literally motivated me, and I was like, oh, I'm going to show them. Like, I'm going to model. And I've just pretty much been doing that ever since.
How tall are you?
About 5, almost 5'8".
5'8"? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So.
So what got you in the car space?
So I actually purchased my first car when I was 18, I believe. I knew that I was going to purchase this car for an investment. It was a BMW. It was an older BMW, and a lot of people told me, they were like, don't do it because it's not a good idea. It's not a good investment. But ultimately, I knew that making this investment would allow me to purchase, more luxury cars in the future. And so one day I literally graduated college and I was like, what am I going to do? No one ever talks about that. I feel like no one ever says like what to do really after college. They just expect you to go on, get your master's degree, but nobody talks about ways of really how to make money. So I just started doing some research. And one of my cousins, he was doing Turo at the time. And I said, I want to do that. Literally just listed my car and I just started learning and teaching myself. And yeah, it's been going really good. So
you went to college?
Yes.
So you have a bachelor's degree?
Yes. And I'm currently working on my master's as well.
Okay, what are you majoring in?
So my bachelor's is in psychology. My minor is in Spanish. And then I'm currently obtaining my executive MBA.
And what are your aspirations with that major?
So what I want to do, is definitely own my own company. And to own your own company, you kind of have to know things like accounting. Yeah. a lot of times, I think sometimes people get into business and they don't really know how to like manage their finances or their accounts.
Mhm.
So that's kind of why I'm taking this program so that I can learn how to do accounting, finance, and be able to do that for myself.
So essentially, you're going to school for your business.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to school to be an employee, basically.
I wouldn't say so. I think that, that keeps my options open.
Mhm.
Ultimately my main goal is to be an entrepreneur at the end of the day. But, sometimes life can happen, but I will always have that to fall back on.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can speak Spanish?
Yes.
Oh, wow. How is that? Like, did you grow up speaking Spanish? Did you learn it?
So actually I have a couple of my aunts growing up. They kind of helped raise me, and they would always talk to me, and they would tell me like, don't do that, but they would say it in Spanish. And so eventually I just kind of started learning, and I would make people that, spoke Spanish, I would tell them just talk to me only in Spanish, and then eventually I just really picked it up. Mm-hmm.
So you're not mixing nothing?
Yeah, I have a little bit of Puerto Rican in me, and then my grandmother, she's actually from Poland. So,
Poland?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
So that's Jewish or?
No. It could be. It depends, but during the Holocaust, her family migrated from Poland to the U.S., and so that's kind of how she got here.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
So-
I know.
So we all do rental cars.
Yeah.
So let's get y'all's point of view on what y'all think it is like being women in the field, in the rental car space, especially because rental car space is not what people think it is. So especially like being on the front lines, renting cars out, dropping off to clients
Mhm.
late at night. Give us some of that insight being a woman in the rental car space.
You can go
With
first.
At first I think it was definitely a little, scary. It was different. There would be times where you might have to drop the car off at 11 p.m. or you might have to get up at 5 a.m. and go take the car to the airport. I think that at first, sometimes people will try you a little bit more because you're a woman. And I think that ultimately, like, establishing that respect and that good rapport definitely goes a long way. I really don't see any difference, though. I think that being a woman is kind of paving the way for others so that they can learn and be able to gain, experience and see that it's possible to do that.
When you say try you mean like take advantage of you, or you mean like in a sexual matter?
Oh,
Probably both.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like I've had, a couple of weird situations for sure. Like, I think when it comes to, for example, me going to the mechanic shop, something happens, to the car. When I go in there, they're going to treat me a little bit differently because I feel like they're going to think I don't know what I'm talking about. Versus, if y'all walk into the mechanic shop, they're going to be like, oh, they're going to treat you differently because they think you know why you're there. And so I think that's a part of it. And also the renters, sometimes they can be a little bit more aggressive because, you're a woman, or they may say things a little bit more aggressively because they don't think you know what you're talking about. But I haven't had too many issues, just a few. So
Yeah, I can relate to
Yeah.
most of those things. So while it was easier while I was on Turo, because I didn't necessarily have to talk too much to the clients. Now that I do mainly private rental, it's like I'm more involved when it comes to like everything,
Definitely.
the clients, just everything, and it can definitely be challenging, especially like you said, when it comes time to go to the mechanic, or even when it's time to buy a car. So, and men will, I feel like they feel more comfortable trying to push you over, trying to negotiate prices,
Yes.
or when it comes to money, they just think that, I guess, you're more of a pushover because you're a woman, and they try to get away with a lot more things. So and then also the aspect of like unwanted flirting and unwanted attention. It can be difficult to navigate. Like, you're trying to give good customer service as a businesswoman. Men take you being nice as flirting. Or men take you being nice as, oh, she must want me. Like, no, I'm just being nice. This is I'm a I'm a feminine woman. I'm nice. Like, that has nothing to do with me wanting you in that aspect. So it can be difficult. But that's why, when I came down to Houston, I partnered with BR and Pierre. So now, like, I mainly try to let them handle, like, all that stuff. Like, I really, try to put myself out of it a little more now. So
have you like tried to like establish like boundaries, like in verbatim, like detail?
Yes, I'm very direct. Like, I would say I don't, try to beat around the bush or do really special favors. I cannot keep the same standard for everyone that comes across the platform or anybody that wants to rent from me. Even for family, anybody, it's kind of just the same, standards that I hold in the way that I carry the business. And I think establishing those boundaries are really important. And you have to do that at the beginning, because I think, if you start your business a certain way and you letting a lot of people get away with things, eventually that can just, fall back on you.
Yeah, so. That was a gem. That was a gem, because especially when I first started, like, I would let people get away with a lot of things, especially customers, and they become comfortable, and then, they feel like they can get away with more things, and it's a domino effect.
Exactly.
So yeah, one of the greatest things that I've learned is sticking to your policies and procedures. Like, these are my rules, period. Like, whether you like it or not, you're not going to go over to Hertz and Enterprise and
get the same.
Say half the things you're asking me. You're not going to ask all these outlandish, requests, right?
Right.
So just sticking to your policies and procedures was one of the biggest things that I learned as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What was the craziest like situation you've been in? Like, I know his car got stolen. Like, what about you?
So this is when I first started on Turo. It was actually a lady, and she was renting my vehicle. And I remember, I kept asking her, hey, are you going to be bringing my car back? Wouldn't get a response. 2 hours go by. I'm like, here we go. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so, my dad, he a little crazy. So I was like, let me not put him in this situation. Let me try to figure this out on my own. And so I called her, kept calling her. And she was just like, she finally answered. And she was like, what? I was like, I kept real professional and calm. And I was just like, I just want to let you know, we do use tracking services on that car, and the police are already on their way. So if I would advise you to return the car within an hour. And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll go drop it off right now. So it's just like she said, having those boundaries. That's really the craziest situation I've had. Or somebody, taking a full trip, trying to request a refund, get their money back, disputing transactions, stuff like that. But I haven't had nothing too crazy. Not like that. Somebody stealing my car. Yeah, this was in Detroit. Mm-hmm.
But the people don't know. Aren't you from Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that could be crazy.
Yes.
How was it?
The Detroit market is definitely, I would say, a little bit tougher. You have to be very
tougher than Houston.
I mean, it's really the same thing, because it's like, I feel like it's the same in a sense. It's like auto theft, petty theft, small crime. And so when it comes to like areas like that, you have to be a little bit more careful, and you have to like really establish those boundaries. Make sure you're checking everything out. Because in Detroit, a car could get stolen and be sold within a day. So
who are you telling?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was you scared that was going to happen, or you think she was just like joyriding or just taking?
No, I was a little bit nervous because her communication had been great, like all the way up until that point. And so I was like, why is she acting weird? And she even asked me to extend the trip at first, and I told her yes. So, I was like, oh, this is a little bit different. She's trying to keep it longer. And if you let people keep the car longer, you're losing money too, because, so, yeah.
So, being women with the things y'all just explained, how do y'all get over that? Like, as far as men trying to get at y'all, as far as, them trying to get over and stuff like that, how do y'all handle that?
Just keep, like she said, keeping them boundaries. I think that I don't really take anything personal. I think, women, we're emotionally wired. So, and men, truthfully, y'all are physical and visual creatures. Women are emotional creatures. And with that, sometimes we put a lot of our emotions, and that's what makes us great. But I've learned to kind of take my emotions out of certain situations and really look at like the bigger picture. Because there's been times where I've had people message me and I may want to go off or, say certain things, or they may flirt with me. And instead of me getting upset, I'll just be like, hey, I'm very professional. I like to keep things this way. And, yeah.
That's one thing I had to work with because I'm in the credit repair space. So it's like how I grew up is it's always conflict. So it's like with those credit repair clients and these rental car clients, it's like, yeah, they'll say this and that. They'll do this and that. Like I was just telling them, somebody disputed like a $2,000 charge. So, and it's like,
straight?
No, it was my payment merchant. I have a high risk processor for credit repair, so they know I do credit repair. But this was for funding. He disputed it, but it's like I got all your information, bro. Like, don't do that. So, and it's like at that point, at this point, I'm 21 now. I started probably 19 years old. With really getting out of college, getting to it. But at that point, like coming up, if I were to use those same, characteristics that I had back then, I probably wouldn't have a business. So it's like a lot of people got to understand that, especially the Black community. Any other communities, they probably cannot relate at all. So in the Black community, it's like we grew up different. And when clients, like credit repair clients, and they come trying to, be disrespectful, it's very, very hard. It's like a characteristic you got to learn quick if you want to be a business owner in any field, because people will get over it, people will talk to you crazy, and you got to learn how to just put the personal life to the side and be a businessman or woman. So I definitely am still to this day trying to work on it. I've gotten better because I put people in place now. Like I've got to a position to where I just hire people, to handle that, because I know I'm still like in that position to where I want to respond a certain way that would affect my business. So yeah, people would definitely have to learn how to be a business instead of, keeping the same characteristics that we had growing up. So what do you think, Turner, as far as being a woman in the
I completely agree. Like it takes a lot of personal development to become like a true entrepreneur. Like BR was saying, like you have to, like these are your customers and they can come at you crazy a lot of times. But it doesn't matter what industry you're in, car rentals, Airbnb, it doesn't matter. Like, so it's just all a matter. It's just a matter of like putting your foot down. These are my policies and procedures. You like it or not, it's not my problem. Like, I've developed like this mindset to where I only want to work with people who want to work with me. So like that's including customers. So I think it's very important to not do it for the money. Like, of course, that's what we're doing it for essentially. But like, I'm just focused on building like the best business, adding as much value to myself and my business as possible. And whoever, is with it is with it. If not, go somewhere else. Not that big.
I agree.
So what brought you to Houston?
So I actually, I knew I was gonna go to Texas Southern. So I wanted to, live here for a year, kind of get that experience. And also I know that my end goal is to invest in a lot of real estate. Houston is definitely number one when it comes to real estate investings. This is a great place, just like Detroit as well, for fix and flips and investments. And so I knew that I had to put myself in a position to where I could do that. It was really easy for me to just be like, let me just stay at home and, have everything pretty much made for me. And that's the crazy thing. I actually had a job offer that I had accepted in Detroit at the time for a very big company. I was going to be making definitely over 6 figures, and it was a great opportunity. I woke up one day and I told my mom and dad, I was like, look, this is not what I want to do. And they were like, at first they were like, why would you do this? Like, this is a perfect opportunity. And, I told them, I'm like, I have to do what's best for me. I need to chase my dreams. And I also want to be, put in a position to where I can make a difference in other people's lives as well. So I had $2,000 to my name. My best friend and I, she's also my business partner, Raven. She wanted to be here today, but she couldn't. I literally called her and I was like, look, we need to figure this out. Like, what are we going to do? So we literally packed up all our stuff and moved to Houston. And I got a job within the first 2 weeks. I've been working for the last year and a half. I still work a 9 to 5, but I am an entrepreneur on the side, pretty much full time as well. So that's how I got out here.
At the time, did you feel like you was letting your parents down? Or you felt like making that decision?
Yes. I mean, I would say so. But at the same time, I've, kind of gotten into this place where I've realized you need to be selfish a little bit for yourself. I think that a lot of times people want to, make other people happy. And yes, you should want to make other people happy. But ultimately, it's like, if you're not doing what you really want to do, are you really going to be happy? And it's your life. You only get one life to live. You're not going to get a lot of these chances again. I'm only going to be the age I am, for so long. So, but they understood and they're very supportive. Like, I'm actually working on purchasing my first investment property within like 2 weeks. And so,
what side of town?
It's going to be close to Cypress.
Cypress?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm looking in either Cypress, Sugarland area, close to the Galleria. I've looked at a couple places over there, and I'm working with my realtor Kendrick, and so we're gonna be making a deal pretty soon.
What's the how much you bonding for? What's the ARV looking like?
So it's gonna be a purchase of about 150. So that's where I'm starting. Because this is the thing, when you're starting and investing, you want to purchase something a little bit lower, fix it up. Then you flip it for a larger profit. That's the goal.
You're not buying and holding, you flipping it?
I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it for a year.
A year?
And then I'll plan to resell then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep on buying and holding, or are you going to flip? Are you going to do that process, buy it, keep it for a year, and then sell it?
That's kind of the process that I'm going for. And also I'm looking to, have places where I can put tenants in. And my ultimate end goal is to have group homes. And so I actually just started a nonprofit, and that just got released literally a month ago. So that's going to be the end goal for that.
So you doing like VAs, or what type of nonprofit?
So I typically focus on children with disabilities, not just children, young adults, helping them to be able to independently live on their own, and also teaching them children in general about after school programs, for example, like how to buy a house, how to apply for a loan, how to apply for a mortgage, like certain things that we were never taught in school. I want to provide that service to them as well. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where you see yourself in 5 years?
I definitely see myself as a millionaire.
Millionaire?
Yes. And you know what? I'm not even going to say that. I'm the type of person, I speak in a sense of like as if it's already done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you can really manifest stuff into your life. Everything that I have done right now, I literally wrote this in my journal like a year ago. And that's the craziest thing. Like, I look back and I was like, I can't believe that I'm doing the stuff that I said. But then again, I can, because I had that faith and I knew that was going to happen for me. So, yeah.
Do you see yourself married or no?
Yeah, I do want to get married. I think that marriage is kind of it's a contract. I look at marriage as a contract. Of course, it's for love, but ultimately, both of you guys are coming together. You're bringing both of your baggage, both of your finances, and y'all putting that together. And so, I just kind of want to make sure I'm in a place where I really have myself together.
Are you gonna get a prenup or no?
I knew
that was gonna come. I knew that was
so crazy.
coming.
I was preparing myself. I'm like, I'm gonna come to this podcast. They're gonna ask me about a prenup.
I mean, you're supposed to protect yourself. You just said.
Yes. I think I would get a prenup for myself.
For sure.
I think that prenups are actually important, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're doing any type of business, but you kind of have to think about it. Like, I understand both sides, because it's like, oh, are you preparing to divorce me? You know, of course, nobody goes into marriage wanting to get divorced, but I think a prenup with clauses is okay. Yeah.
I agree. I think, like, I mean, I understand both sides, like you were saying, but, you know, if I sign a prenup, like, as long as you don't leave me high and dry after you leave, like, I don't want everything you have. Like, I'm not trying to drain you, but, like, if this were to end, at least I'm okay. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was also thinking I might make him sign a prenup.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think. Look, I feel like I see myself in a different. Like, we're both business women, and I see like a very, very strong future for the both of us. So I'm like, look, I might have to make him sign a prenup.
Yeah, I honestly never thought about that until like recently, as you know, like I'm becoming more and more successful. It's like, okay, I might have to protect myself now. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What if he's like a multi-millionaire already? Does that matter or that don't matter?
Like, you're asking, like, would I make him sign a prenup if he's a multi-millionaire?
Like, would you still try to protect yourself if he had like millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Still?
I think so. It kind of depends. It really just depends on the situation, I feel like.
Like Bobby and Whitney, like he might
Bobby
on
and
the
Whitney.
couch or something.
No. No, it's just like, I feel like you have to really, really know the person that you're marrying. And I think sometimes a lot of people they settle. Like, they're not marrying the person that they really love. And so it's like, you have to, if you're going into it for love and y'all have, you know, great relationships and, you know, a strong foundation, maybe we can talk about the potential of, like, you know, no prenup. But for me personally, I just want to protect my children too. Like, that's another aspect of it. Like, you take away from me, if we have kids, you take it away from our children as well. So
can you be with someone who makes less than you?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't really look at money per se. It's more so like, I'm looking at how you're thinking. Like, for example, you make less than me, that's fine. But are you, you know, wanting to better yourself, or like, are you going to stay content where you are? I think that's kind of important for me, because I'm in a mindset where, like, I always want to continuously grow, you know, until I feel like I have a point where it's like, okay, I have generational wealth built for like 2 to 3 generations ahead. So if you're not kind of thinking on that same mindset, I don't think that it would work for me. But, you know, making less than me is not a problem.
How many kids you plan on having?
Woo. I would say 3 is like my max.
3?
Yeah. 3 is my max. I've heard people have children before, and I'm like, woo, I don't know if I'm gonna have to really prepare myself for that. So
Does it matter with the gender?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think whatever God bless me with is, as long as the baby is healthy and happy, that's all that matter.
Okay. What if you had a son? What advice would you give to him about women?
To my son, I would say that, you know, first of all, I would have a very good relationship with his father, because I would want him to be able to see, you know, how to treat a woman. I wouldn't want to have a man around me that doesn't treat me well. I would want my son to grow up, have a good example, and then that's something that he can follow in and lead. But the advice that I would give to him as far as women is, like, you know, don't do anything that you wouldn't want someone else to do to you, ultimately. Like, I think a lot of times society makes it socially acceptable for men to do certain things and women to not. There are a lot of double standards on both sides. But I think that if you're a good person, like, you're going to be a good person. And that starts at home, to be honest. It starts at home. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Would you what like the type of legacy you're leaving behind? Like, how many rental properties you plan on leaving your children?
At least 15.
15?
Yes.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
All in Houston or none in
No,
Detroit?
I'm actually looking at some in Detroit. So that's a great place to start. for anybody that's looking to like invest, the Detroit market is amazing. You can go to an auction, purchase a house for $10,000, fix it up, and sell it within 6 months for like 80. And that's kind of what a lot of people are doing. So, you know, I think that would be a great avenue to start. So like Detroit, Houston, I know the markets in like Orlando are really good. Tampa, some parts of the West Coast a little bit expensive, but I would like to have like a leisure or luxury home out there for my future generations. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it like the type of man that you intend on marrying? Do you have like a specific criteria?
So I don't know.
Can he be younger than you?
Can he be younger than me?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say so.
How old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm 25.
Are you 25?
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you was
Oh,
older.
you're old.
Really?
I thought you was like pushing 30 at least.
Dang.
Like 28. Mario, like 28.
Yo.
Like 28. Come on. That's
tripping with
3
that one.
years.
Yeah, I think it's also like kind of the way I carry myself, but also thinking like my mindset too. So
Yeah, you carry yourself older.
yeah, definitely. But I mean, he really has to be somebody that really loves me, I think, and also wants to kind of serve me. You know, does he want to, you
Like
know,
serve you like as in what? Like massage your feet?
no. So like, how can I explain
Princess
this?
treatment.
Yes, like princess treatment, but it's also like women should be able to do the same. But I'm not going to do that for a man that's not doing that for me.
You got to be the leader. You set the example.
Absolutely. He has to be the leader.
You got to be able to submit to him.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm not going to like submit to anybody that I feel like does not have my best interest or is not capable of being a leader. Yeah. So he has to be a leader for sure. And I think that he has to be respectful of like my boundaries, and want to kind of put me in a position to where we can both be better. You know, if he comes into the relationship and he's like, oh, you know, this is all about me and I'm, you know, helping myself, I can't have kids with you because you only concerned about yourself. You know, I need somebody that is concerned about other things beyond, you know, worldly desires.
What about the main question though?
What's the main question?
Oh, can he be younger than you? Yeah.
Can he be young?
Yo.
Why are you asking me this?
I mean,
You
know,
do this with everybody though.
Yeah, I do this with
So
everybody.
you gotta.
I mean, I got
general
homeboys like in
question,
they are like, you know, 20, 21, 22. You know?
Yeah, I mean, oh wait, 21? That is a little bit young, I will say. I mean, 21 to like, that's kind of pushing it, but it, you know, I think that, I mean, don't they say men's brain don't develop until they're 25? So
Not if they rich.
no, what?
I don't think that matters.
Right, that don't matter. No, men, you know.
I mean, they got to be thinking in a high capacity if they became like a millionaire by the time they're 21.
No, I agree. They definitely are thinking, you know, in a high capacity.
They got to
But
have like
they might not be thinking in a high capacity as far as a relationship. They might be thinking in a high capacity of how to get this money, but not in terms of a woman in a relationship and her emotions.
That's like what 50% of divorces though is like because of money. Y'all ain't got to worry about that. See what I'm saying?
But money's not everything.
It's not. Well, okay, so if he caters to you, treats you like a queen, pays for everything, you cool or still no? He too young. He's still too young.
If he's young, I mean, yeah, like that's cool, but who wouldn't want that? I mean, you know, but at the same time, it's also like, is he emotionally available? Is he in a space, in a capacity where he can emotionally feed me spiritually and emotionally? Not just, you know, physically, and also about, you know, buying me things or doing things like that. It's also about that as well to me.
Okay.
So if you were to start dating, you're dating with the intent to potentially get married.
Yeah, I would.
You're no more like for fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that place. I think that I've had, you know, some fun and I was able to, especially like in college or just, you know, getting out of college, you date people, you learn, but I'm kind of in a place where I don't want to waste my time because my time is very important as an entrepreneur. I don't have time. So if I make time for you, it's like I'm not just doing that for anybody. But I'm also in a place right now where I know that I need to dedicate this time to me. And so ultimately, once I feel like I'm in a space where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to really, really start taking people seriously, then, that would be my intent.
Sure. Can he have children?
Can he have children?
Yeah. That's a no.
Where's the baby mom?
That's the main question.
What if
he
they
had
cool?
No money.
What if it's like amicable relationship and they cool? She cool.
Like they co-parent like very well.
Yeah, like just hilarious. Like they like bros and sisters and whatever.
I think that if I got to like 30, yeah. But right now.
Oh, so no.
No. I don't know.
How old can he be? Like in his 40s? Is that too old or no?
Yeah, right now, yeah. Right now, yes.
So only in their 20s and 30s, that's it?
20s, 30s, yeah. The probably like 35 would be like my max right now.
Max?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like any guy that I've met like around 31, like they're ready to get married like right now. And I'm just not in that space. Yeah.
What about the youngest? You didn't say the youngest yet. You just said oldest.
I feel like you started though.
You already talking about that.
Starting away. I'm just asking questions. That's what I do. I ask questions.
So, I mean, if he's young, that's fine. But like I said, he has to really be in an emotional capacity to bring something to the table emotionally and spiritually, not just, focused on having fun. But at the same time, you got to think about it. If you're 19, 20, 21, you really haven't experienced life yet. So what's to say that, you get to 25 where I am and then you like, oh, now I'm ready to, I've been in a relationship for all this time. Like I'm ready to go live my life now. And I think sometimes that is where a lot of divorces happen, is that people get married young and they really haven't had a chance to explore or like figure out who they are. And that's not just about dating or getting to know people. It's about taking trips or going to see different things, getting different experiences. So I think if they're in a place where they know they're ready, then I guess, yeah.
What if he gave you like a promise ring? Like, I promise I ain't gonna do that.
Y'all want to know a funny story? When I was in middle school, I don't know what I was thinking. I asked, it was literally my middle school boyfriend. I told him I wanted a promise ring. And I thought about that. I'm like, that was the just dumbest thing I ever asked for. Like, why was I asking for that at 11? Like,
so you believe in promise rings, see what I'm
saying? Maybe. I mean, if you're going to put a promise ring on my finger, you might as well put the real thing.
Engagement ring?
Yeah. I'm not, I might say no.
How much the engagement ring got to be?
I would say at least 10.
10? Damn.
10,000?
That's decent.
That's I guess to them it's cool.
10,000? If I'm gonna buy my man, like if I'm finna marry my man, I'm gonna buy him, something.
That's a lifetime.
No, we saying saying the man giving it to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10,
not y'all giving it to us.
Him proposing to you, how much the ring got to be?
10
you said 10,000?
At least 10,000. Yeah. Is
that's a lot?
I don't think that's
a lot.
Y'all
acting like it's outlandish.
I feel like y'all don't. Do y'all know how much engagement is? Oh, that's not enough?
That's what I thought. He thought it was high.
I thought it was kind of high.
Really? I mean, like you could literally go to Zales, and most of their engagement rings are at least like 8.
8?
Like 5 to 8.
I was thinking about like 6, 7.
Okay.
Is this for a promise ring?
No, I was talking about engagement. Yeah. No, propose. So 10. So you want 10?
I would say at least, and then I might go upgrading myself.
Do you want them things every 5 years too? You want them little things too? Them little.
Oh, you talking about the wedding bands?
Yeah, you want them too?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean.
So 10's not even.
I'm gonna ice my man out. My man gonna have him a nice ring on his finger.
So 10 not really enough. Like, so you saying you gonna upgrade that on top of that? That's what you're saying. So you saying you need like.
Well,
15?
I'm saying like it depends. Like if my man should know what I like. Like if he goes to the store and he like, this is exactly what she would want. Okay, but I've definitely seen and know a lot of people that have went back and like upgraded their rings, you know, maybe in like 10 years or something.
Mario, did you have to buy your own wedding ring?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Something like that. But I charge everything on my credit card, so it wouldn't be no big deal.
Okay. Wow. So you were married. How long have you been married?
He don't like talking about himself.
This ain't about me. This is about you.
I asked the important question.
No, but what you say?
No, I was saying, I mean, I would ice my man out.
You
know?
would?
Yeah. Like, I feel like...
Also, so you would propose, is what you're saying?
No. Oh, no. No. Absolutely not.
Are you talking about sliding in the man's DM? That's what you're saying?
No, after he proposes to her.
After he proposed to me, I would ice him out. Like,
you ice him out?
I would give him a nice, ring. I feel like that's like a, where I'm from, that's kind of... Everybody is iced out. Like
everybody iced out. Does he have to get on one knee, or is that an obligation?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Does it got to be public? It can't be private. It got to be everywhere.
I mean, it could be private, but I definitely want a video.
Oh, you want a video?
Yeah, like I want to go back and have that memory.
Yeah.
Have you ever been proposed to? You said no.
Yes.
Damn. How many times?
Twice.
Yeah. You said no both times?
Why you told them no? What was the problem?
Because they was only doing it because they wanted me to say, or like...
He was leaving?
Yeah, this was years.
So how old were you?
Like 19.
19?
Mm-hmm. I've had like someone propose or come back and be like, let's get married.
Oh.
Which is... I don't know. I just was kind of in a place, like I said, I'm not ready to get married. I'm not ready to really be and settle down. I got to focus and build up my businesses a little bit more. And then, I'll be ready. So.
Are they still in the picture? They still waiting? Or
No.
No. Waiting?
No, they're not in the picture. No. That was just like, it was kind of more of like a, let's get married. Like, it was like more of that situation.
That's why they be failing. That's why marriages be failing. Because they be too
trying
ready.
To make it like quick. Yeah.
Let's do it now.
Or they'll propose. Like, I feel like sometimes men will like propose to keep someone like stuck or like keep them in a certain situation because they don't want anybody else to have them. Truthfully, like I've had to learn over the years, like the difference between somebody that really, really wants to like be with you and somebody that just wants to keep you from being with somebody else.
That was a gem. And I think that goes to like, the question like dating younger. Like you have to experience those relationships to understand like what you really want. And if you haven't experienced that, you're not ready.
How do you know? How do you know what it is that you really want? There's a billion people on this earth, more than that, and if you're young, you really haven't gotten a chance to like experience life. I think people sometimes will get into marriages and they'll be like miserable, or they'll be like, I wish I would have, or they'll have regrets. And that's one thing my dad always told me was like, you don't want to be in a place where you're about to die and like you have so many regrets. That's not a good place to be. So I try to live my life like that.
Can he be shorter than you?
Shorter than me?
Yeah.
I feel like this gonna start some controversy, but
funny.
Personally, no, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you.
Have you dated anybody shorter than you?
No,
never.
Let me think. No, I really haven't dated that many people. I've only been in like 3 relationships.
Oh, for real? So. They all over 6. They all gotta be over 6 foot.
Not 6 feet. Like, I mean, you just got to be taller than me, I would say. Like,
so you cool with being taller than your man with heels? You cool with that?
That's tough. Like, am I towering over him? Like, I'm looking down at him?
I mean, if he 5'10", you got 4-inch heels. You 6 foot, right?
Oh, true. I didn't think about that. I mean, I think a little bit taller is okay.
A little bit taller?
Yeah. Like, I have an auntie and she's taller than my uncle, and I've never even looked at it if it looks great. So,
oh, for real?
Yeah.
Like Bonnie and Clyde?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Do you just date black men or do you date other races?
I Ooh, y'all asking the questions on here today. I would say I'm not like gonna be like, oh, I'm only dating one type of person. I think I'm like open to other, but I've never really did that.
Have you dated a white man before?
Yes.
Oh, you have for real? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What about Mexican?
No.
Or Hispanic? No.
No, I haven't.
Do you have a preference?
How you gonna learn Spanish?
Well, I know it already. I mean, I just want to be able to like teach my kids, how to speak it. And we're sorry.
Do you have like a preference? Like if you could build your husband, like
I love black men. I love black kings. I love y'all. Shout out to all the black kings out there. Y'all are amazing. But I would say he has to really like know himself. And he has to have discipline. I want a disciplined man.
Disciplined. Yes. That's the word of the day.
Discipline.
It's not a lot of that with older men. Y'all realize that?
Well,
I'm just saying in general.
Well, in any age. I feel like any age.
So I'm gonna talk to Turner because how old are you, Turner?
I'm 28.
Right.
28.
So with older men, do they have a lot of discipline?
I think
just in general.
I think it's more of a mindset thing because like it doesn't matter what
so
age.
It varies.
It varies, okay. Yeah. But I feel like the older they are, the more likely they may have more discipline because they've already gotten it out their system, or like they're ready to settle down. Versus like someone who hasn't got it out their system, they have no discipline, and it doesn't matter how much money you make, like. That doesn't matter if you're not a disciplined man.
Mm-hmm. Like, I agree.
That goes out the window. I don't care 100%. If you make 6-7 figures. You're not disciplined. Like, what could I do with you? You're not disciplined.
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, the main way to tell if a man is disciplined is if he gets up and goes to work. Or if he gets up and puts time and effort into, like, his craft.
Communication and all that.
Yeah. Well, that too, but it's more so, like... If I say, like, for example, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to work every single day. If he's not getting up and going up to work every day, he's not a disciplined man.
Fact.
So how can I expect him to be disciplined and, be a leader to me? So,
BR, I have a question for you. So, I mean, I know you're disciplined when it comes to your business. You know how to get money or whatever. But at your age, do you feel like you're disciplined in terms of women and sex?
Am I disciplined in that way?
Yeah.
As far as women, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, I mean, I'm not the 21-year-old bouncing around. Like, as you know, I
agree.
You like, she knows me in real life. So it's like, people see me on Instagram. They're instantly like, women see me on Instagram. Oh, he's this, he does this. He's all with women. He's doing this behind the scenes.
Right.
But you can vouch for me behind the scenes. I don't like that.
VR is he definitely
like she see me, like she even comes over and we straight bit like we working,
VR, so I respect. I'm gonna just give BR a shout out. I respect BR so much. He's such a gentleman. Like he's never been weird or like trying to cross the line. Like
nah, for real.
BR is like a great guy, especially at only 21.
Yeah. So. And that's what I be saying. Like a lot of women that I do connect with, they're older. Mm-hmm. So that's what they think I be on. And that's what pushed them away. Either my young age or they think it's something else behind the scenes that I hide very well. But I'm like, women work with me. They come around all the time and it don't be that. So I'm definitely disciplined because if I wasn't, I would probably be on her. I'd probably, So, I mean, that's how I could back myself up and say, yeah, I'm definitely disciplined.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't deny that. I don't deny that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you got something? I got something.
No, go ahead, shoot.
50-50 or no?
Hell no.
No?
What's that? First of all, I wanted to talk about that lady, Shara 7. No, Shara 7. You know her,
Sprinkle. That's my girl.
Yes. Listen, I mean... I used to be like that type of girl where I'd be like, let me go 50-50. And no, why am I doing that? Why am I lowering myself and my standards, to accommodate somebody else? And that's why it's like, that doesn't mean...
Hold on, you talking about in a marriage or you talking about a relationship? Like what like as far as 50-50, like in what aspect?
I would say like definitely in marriage, but also like you kind of got to get a preview before you get married. Like, you have to know what type of person.
Right. Free trial.
But if y'all, I'm gonna say this real quick. If y'all both entrepreneurs and y'all striving for a goal, and say he up and you're down, or he down and you're up, like y'all just supposed to just attack the goal. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be times where, you know, he may be in a situation and I may have to help him out of that. I don't mind doing things like that. But
like if he need 10 bands and he's stuck and you got it, like you're not finna give it to him?
No, I would give him that. Like, that's nothing. But it's more so like, I'm not going, like, I don't want to be in a situation where we're not going 50-50.
He's like a leech.
We're going 50-50. So
okay, I see.
Yeah.
If I wanted to do 50-50, I could be like, Christina, let's move in together.
Right, you better be my roommate. I have a roommate right now.
Exactly.
That's cool, because a lot of women would be like, oh no, he's going 100. I'm not paying nothing. You know, bro, I can't stand women like that. Like, they don't want to put nothing forward, and then you don't want to sign a prenup.
So if you were in a relationship, BR, what would you expect your woman to pay for? Like,
that's a good
I just
question.
don't want to be 100% accountable, and it's like you just there. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Do you feel like women can add value other than money? Like, essentially, I see it as it's 50-50, maybe not financially, but like she's providing something else.
Emotional.
I would go 70-30, but like, to answer your question,
does she have to pay rent? Does she have to pay
rent?
When
you say
no,
70.
I don't.
So you would take care of the rent if you had a girlfriend?
That's why I said I would go 70-30. So
what is the 30 she's paying for?
Right.
She would be paying, I guess, like herself, small things, like
or the phone bill,
with like the gas
the
bill,
lights.
or something.
It could be just. I haven't thought like that.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm just saying, like, I could carry a bulk of the expenses. You know, at least the day-to-day expenses. So if she had a business, for example, I want you to run your business, and I'm gonna run my business. I guess that's a way. I can't really explain it because I haven't thought that far. But I would definitely go 70-30, from a woman's perspective, because a woman, I feel like she's supposed to be, you know, the one cleaning the house, you know, and emotional support.
That's what I mean by essentially it is still 50-50. Like, you may be paying the rent, but she's cleaning.
So we're not talking about money then, right? So it's more so
taking care of the kids.
Yeah, stuff like that. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not really picky like that. So if a woman wants, even if she said, nah, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't do 100. But yeah, the max I would go is like 70. Okay. I don't know. We'll figure something out, and then she handle like little small, probably daycare fees and stuff like that. Like, you know, little small stuff, maintenance for maintenance for the cars, or just small stuff, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what.
Okay. I got a question for you, real quick. Say you have a boy, right?
Okay.
Would you be cool if he like brought a white girl home? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, I think for me, it may be different. Like I said, my grandmother is white. She's from Poland, European white. So that wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be upset at that. I think really, as long as, you know, it's a good person, then I can't be upset at that. Okay. Everybody, you know, the reason we're on this earth is to find love, and a lot of people sometimes limit themselves in that way. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset, but I mean, we live in a different day and age. I think back in the day, a lot of people, you know, would be upset because I think it held a lot of weight as far as, you know, what we've been through as a people, and
segregation, racism, all that.
Yeah, and I don't think I think people should understand, like, not all people are one way, and not all people think the same way. I think, you know, we have to understand that too. So,
y'all got any more questions?
Yeah, I do. Unless you gotta go.
No.
So, I know, and going back to entrepreneurship, Turner, Cali, you, Michigan. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people want to change their situations. And Turner, I kind of know your situation. And you, I know your situation more so because it's Detroit. Right. So a lot of people on here probably watching and want to get out of this situation, but they don't know how. So they probably know how, but they're scared to make the jump. And I can kind of relate too, because I left football scholarships on the table. I left track scholarships on the table. Like, I was going to college for free, just being an athlete, and I dropped out. I left it all. So I can relate too. But for the most part, y'all are women, you know, so it's kind of different. So how was that jump like to spark it? Because that's hard. That's hard being a woman, right?
Yeah.
Just, you know, jumping out of an airplane, building a parachute out of nothing. That's what entrepreneurship is. So especially moving to a different city all the way across the U.S. almost, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what do y'all, how do y'all overcome that being women?
You can go first.
Okay. I mean, I definitely think being a woman has a lot to do with it, but I think you need to, well, we all have to put ourselves in a mindset of like, I'm a business, you know, professional first and foremost. And when I came down here, I always thought that I should and deserve the same respect as anybody else that's doing it. And so, you know, starting out, I was very nervous. I had a lot of people telling me, don't do it. It's not a good idea. And I used my car. I started with 1. Now I have 6. So
that's where people mess up. They listen to parents.
Yes.
Parents is not saying don't listen to your parent, but at the end of the day, the parents are just trying to keep you safe.
Yes.
And we got to take a risk if we want to do something. And then if we listen to our parents, we're going to end up right where they are, which 9 times out of 10, we probably don't want to be in that position, like in a respectful way, you know? So it's like, why listen to them as far as entrepreneurship? You're not an entrepreneur or... You know, why would we listen to our parents if they're telling us to go to college and that's not what we want to do? We're just going just because we want to go. And then a lot of people, they just be young. So they're in high school seeing everybody going to college. So that's the route they take. Parents pushing them to go their way. So, yeah, I definitely think that's a big part of, you know, making that jump. Just stop listening to people that aren't where you want to be, you know? And parents is the main issue. So...
I think, you know, it is important to listen to your parents, you know, about a lot of things. They were here before us. They have that, we have that respect and experience. But I think, you know, it's also about like, you have to think about, what do I want to do for myself? What is it that I want for myself? And I think a lot of people are out here just living with no purpose. They don't really know what they want to do. They're just doing what they're told to do, that's fine, you know, if they want to live their life like that. But for me personally, I always knew that I wanted to build generational wealth. I knew that I wanted to be the first millionaire in my family. And so everything, and if I can give any type of advice, literally write down what you want, but it's a way to write it down. You write it down as if it's already happened. I started out writing every single day. I would make this amount on Turo. I would make $100,000. Last year was my first $100,000 year. And I wrote that every single day for 6 months. And I just started seeing stuff like unfold and things just start happening. And so when you kind of write stuff down, you don't have time to really listen or worry about what other people are saying or what other people are saying that you can't do because you're so focused and honed in on your goal.
Yeah. Got to stop listening to people outside distractions.
I agree. And I feel like, I think definitely leaving your hometown is like a hack because like for me personally, I knew it was time to move when I felt like I outgrew everyone.
Yes.
Like you're going to get to a point where you start your business, you know, you're growing, and then you just get to a point where it's like, dang, I outgrew everybody around me in my hometown. I can't learn from anyone anymore around me. So I was seeking more. Like I wanted more. And it goes back to what Christina was saying. Like you already have to know that you're a millionaire, even if you're not a millionaire. You already have to know that you're going to be successful. So although it wasn't manifested yet, I knew that it was out there for me. And I was pretty much just following that, you know, feeling or that dream. So it's just going with your gut and, you know, don't listen to the negative, you know. You know what's best for you. Like, you know what's best for you and do whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
So how are y'all, like, I know it's plenty of people out there that are stuck in Chicago or Detroit, you know, somewhere that's hard to get out of.
Yeah.
So how do we get out?
You know, I personally was very fortunate. Like, I lived in the suburbs for most of my life, but at the same time, most of my family is still, in the city, or, they're still trying to make it. And there's nothing wrong with the city. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that, I was fortunate enough to kind of be able to go to the suburbs, go to like decent schools, learn, and you can literally, regardless of your situation, you can do whatever you want to do. If you're somebody that's looking to learn, you have to put in the time. Like, you literally have to just do it. When I started to row, I honestly did not watch one single YouTube video. And a lot of people were like, you're crazy for that. Like, I was like, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to read, the policies. I'm going to do it on my own so that I can teach myself. And ultimately, that's how I got those experiences. And so, don't think that something is off limits to you because of your situation. Don't think that you can't do something because of where you are right now, because your life can literally change within 6 months. Mm-hmm. I still work a 9 to 5 and I love what I do, but ultimately I know what my end goal is. And so don't knock yourself. If you have to start somewhere and then build up, that's okay. It's just more so build up and get to that point and believe in you and know that it's going to happen as if it's already done. So
I agree. I think everybody is dealt different cards in life. Like you said, some people are more fortunate than others, but that should not be an excuse for yourself. Like, I think you need to, like, if it might be harder for someone to per se move out of their hometown for whatever their situation is, like, plan for it. Work, save up, save money to the side. Like, this is my get away from my hometown fund. Like, there's no excuses. So it's just dealing with the card that you were dealt and playing the game and figuring it out at the end of the day. But excuses and being a victim is not going to get you anywhere. So
at all, bro.
I agree.
Well, I'm gonna end it right there.
Okay.
Everybody, shout out your Instagram handle where they can follow you out.
I'm Miss Turner. You can follow me at miss.turner. Miss is MISSS.Turner.
You can follow me at __ Christina.J.
BR the CEO, credit and rental cars. So if y'all need coaching or anything, just hit me up on Instagram.
We out.